What is going on, everyone? It is a week-ending show. What a week it's been. Crazy stuff going on in the realm of gaming with the Switch 2 announcements and all of that. But today is no exception because, ladies and gentlemen, we have to talk about the big news in the room. The Switch 2 will be delayed, or at least pre-orders will be, in the United States due to the Trump tariffs. Could this mean that the Switch 2 will actually be even more expensive? Hoo boy. Plus, it's the calm before the storm because my birthday is Sunday, and that means a big birthday bash. We're going to talk about so much stuff on today's show, including how Smart Guys went last night and more. So sit back and relax. It's time for a rousing, rip-roaring, action-packed, week-ending episode of the Level 1 Podcast.
Get ready for some meaningful content, because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Woo! Because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Oh!
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm DSP, and this is the Level 1 Podcast. My screen is malfunctioning, so pay no attention to that while I fix it. Today is Friday, April 4th, 2025, and we've got quite the eventful day with the hot news literally breaking moments before I went live today about this whole Trump tariffs situation. Everyone is talking about it, and we're going to talk about this in a moment because obviously the biggest thing in gaming right now all week has been talk of the Nintendo Switch 2. Its pricing, its release schedule, etc., and how everyone was already saying that the Switch 2 was going to be overly expensive for what it was. Now, with this new Trump tariff situation, it could be even more exponentially inflated when it comes to costs. So, man, we got a good amount to talk about today. But we've also got to talk about yesterday and how things went on the streams, including Smart Guys last night and the second guest host that we had. A lot of different discussion about that I'd like to get to. That's going to be fun. And it's the end of the week. And the end of the week means my birthday is next. That's right. My big birthday marathon event that I do every single year annually is this Sunday. And I hope you guys are ready for a day full of fun and festivities. So we've got a ton of stuff to talk about today on the show. Keep in mind, after the show ends, it's the end game of Suikoden. Now, here's the thing. Someone last stream who is familiar with Suikoden said, man, you're almost done. You've got 3 optional people to recruit and then just the story and you're done. So you'll beat this next time you play it. But here's the thing. Every single time someone says that to me, literally every time, it takes longer than what they say. You'll take you 2 hours. It's going to take me 4. Oh, you could beat that in one night stream. Nope, that's going to take 2 night streams or a day stream, you know? So, today, we're going to see how good we can go, or how far we can go, I should say, how much progress we can make. I don't know if we're going to beat it or not, but we're going to give it a try. Now, if you can believe it, out of all the games I've been playing, this is so wild to me. Every single time that I have played Suikoden, we have hit the goal. I don't get it because I thought for sure playing a classic PS1 JRPG, this would never happen. I forgot to turn on my other light, by the way. I just turned it on. I thought that basically this was going to be my dead playthrough. That every time I played Suikoden, we were going to have little to no support and very little attendance, and it was just going to be kind of a passion project for me because this is a classic PS1 RPG from the 90s that I played back when I was young, and I absolutely loved it. And I definitely wanted to play it with this remaster collection. But you guys have proven me wrong. You guys have come out and supported this playthrough in droves. I can't believe every time I've streamed this game, we've hit the goal, and it's been a good amount. It's been, like 7 streams or something like that? So that's pretty darn amazing, and I want to say, obviously, thank you so very much for that. Let's keep that momentum going. Let's hit the goal again today while I'm playing Suikoden so that we can say this has been one of the best supported playthroughs I've done. And in addition to that, if you remember, someone had asked a couple streams ago, Phil, if Suikoden actually keeps doing this well and it's showing that people will show up and support it, would you play Suikoden 2, which is also in this collection, later in the year? To which I said, yeah, I don't see why not. If people are going to show up and engage and support with content, why wouldn't I continue that content? Now, I'm definitely not going to do it right away for a couple of reasons. Number one, there's actually another big RPG coming out later on in April called, what is it called? Like Claire Obscure or something like that. It looks really good. People are saying it's going to be a combination of like Final Fantasy X and Lost Odyssey. That sounds like a combination that wins to me. Like, those games are amazing in my opinion. So to play a game like that, great. So I don't want to be playing 2 JRPGs at once like that. And in addition, being that we've been doing Suikoden for about 3 weeks now, the last thing you want to do is finish a lengthy playthrough and finish it up with another lengthy playthrough of exactly the same franchise. Like, I've tried that before in the past with games like Zelda, Mario. It doesn't work. Okay, it just doesn't. It ends up being too much of the same, and people won't show up for the second game. So I'm going to pace it, and probably, let's keep this momentum going. Let's hit the goal today. If we finish it, great. If not, probably one more stream to beat it. And then we could say this was one of the best supported old school playthroughs I've ever done. And then I would have no qualms about playing Suikoden 2 later this year, notably probably during the summer, because the summer is usually when things really slow down for game releases. We're already seeing this year, basically the Switch 2 will be the thing of the summer, but outside of that, there's not much else going on, so it might be the perfect time for it, okay? Cool. And then also remember, tonight on the late stream, Friday Night Fights returns after having a hiatus last week because I wasn't here Friday last week. But the big thing tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in many weeks, it is time for the return of Street Fighter 6. Yes, Street Fighter 6 is returning for the first time in over a month. I think it's been like a month and a half, right? It was since the release of Mai Shiranui, which was actually around 2 months ago, now that I'm thinking about that. So yeah, let's get hyped for that. A lot of you have wanted Street Fighter 6 for a long time. Well, it's coming back, and I'm going to be playing with E Honda tonight. I decided, because he was the character I was going to use like ages ago, and I just never got around to it. So E Honda returns tonight on the late stream around 6:45 p.m. Pacific time here on DSPGaming. I hope you'll be here for that if you like fighting game stuff. If not, well, I'm not here tomorrow, but I'll return on Sunday for my big birthday bash. So, this is exciting. I'm curious if you guys are excited for my birthday on Sunday. I am, and the thing is, here's the thing. I like doing these events because it's just a chill atmosphere. Like on Sunday, there's no pressure for me to have to complete anything. What are we doing on Sunday? Well, let's see. We're doing a podcast. There's going to be drinking where every $100 of support that I raise, I'm going to be taking a shot of your choice. By the way, I'm going to have some rules in place this time because if you guys aren't aware, last marathon that I did, people at the very last half hour decided to dump a bunch of support and then expected me to drink like 8 shots. Like, I can't do that. I'm going to get sick, I can't be drinking that much. So we're going to have pacing rules in place that I'm not going to be drinking more than, say, 3 or 4 shots in a certain amount of time because it's just not healthy, okay? But we'll figure it out. But it's going to be fun. We're going to be doing food. My wife's going to be making me a birthday meal, and she already gave me some hints at what it's going to be, and it sounds great, so that's going to be exciting. But for the first time in many, many years, it's going to be time for Minecraft to return. All right. I'm excited for that. See how Minecraft will go. I guess we'll see. We're starting from scratch, by the way. This is the brand new version of Minecraft that apparently just had like an update or whatever. So we're going to be playing Minecraft and just giving it a go, starting fresh, seeing how what people want me to do, and it'll be very interactive and very fun. I think that'll be neat. In addition to that, we've got the Minecraft Lego set that I bought that we're going to be building live together. We're going to see if I can actually complete the build, like do the whole thing in one go so we can have it for my background. I'm thinking maybe remove the sign here and put the Lego build right there. That would be pretty cool for the rest of the month. In addition to that, there's this new game, Schedule 1, that apparently it has come out on Steam and has been virally popular this week. And people have said, will you play it? I said, yeah, why not? Why don't we play that on Sunday as well during the birthday marathon? All right. And then whatever else you guys want, like it's all up to you. So it's going to be a fun marathon stream on Sunday. And someone had said to me, what is it that you want for your birthday? All I want for my birthday is a chill day where we can relax together, have a good time, enjoy games, and just be like, hey, it's another year here on the planet to enjoy each other's company. That's about it. I'm not looking for anything crazy, Now, someone actually said to me, hey, Phil, what would be your overall goal? Like, if you had one thing that you wanted to accomplish in 2025, what would it be? And I thought about it quickly. And my answer was simple. I was like, what I'd like to do this year is prove that I can be successful, profitable, popular without some other guys collabing. Because last year, by far, the thing that got me the most attention was the Review Tech USA React event that I did with Kino Casino, reacting to his June the King documentary. It got the most views, it got the most attention overall, and it got the most support. So I would like to do something this year that will get me that level of, notoriety and support, but what would it be? I honestly don't know. We're going to have to think about this, It'll be a tough thing to do, obviously. But if anything, like I said, like people were like, well, how well did you do during that event? And I was like, I know for a fact, like that one stream, I made like $3,000 because I made over $1,000 in tips. And then the YouTube support was insane. We had tons of memberships and super chats, right? So 1,000,000%, I made like $3,000 that day. So if I could do something this year that beats that, I'd be like, there, I've proven my point. You don't have to be toxic. You don't have to be an internet bully. You don't have to be a jerk in order to be popular and make any kind of profits on the internet. You can actually be a positive influence on the internet and not have to bring down others to be successful. So we'll see. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. I don't know. I guess we'll figure this out. All right. But anyway, so yes, Sunday is my big birthday event. I'm excited for this, and I hope that you guys will join me for it. Now, I do have an update. I would like to direct all of your attention right here. Do you see that right there? Do you see what it says? It says we are currently at 96 out of 100 goals hit. All right. And FYI, that means very soon we're going to be hitting 100 goals, which means every 10 goals, I do some kind of a celebratory event. But there's kind of an exception here. You might say, well, I don't get what's the exception. Well, we're already doing a marathon. We've been doing every 50 goals hit. I do a marathon to celebrate for you guys. But this time around, we're already doing a marathon because of my birthday. So to be honest with you, I don't think we have enough time to plan another event right now because of the marathon. So I'm thinking what we should do is for the 100 goal, just do a standard reward, like a DSP tries it, but then we plan something bigger down the road, because I don't think the last thing we want to do is a marathon on Sunday and then try to do another marathon later in the week. No one's going to show up for the second marathon. Marathons work when they're spaced out, correct? Marathons work when there's special events that happen every month or so, and we can plan the event and have a good time. And it's worked for this birthday event, but we just don't have enough time to do a second marathon event right now. I don't think that it would make sense. It would be like a rushed thing that people aren't going to really care about. So I'm thinking, let's now start talking about what should be next for this next event and figure it out. But in the meantime, it definitely looks like we're going to hit 100, if not today, on Sunday during my birthday marathon, right? So, we had already talked about a few ideas for DSP Tries It, and one of the ideas was Taco Time, which is actually a Pacific Northwest exclusive franchise out here that does Mexican American food similar to Taco Bell. They're trying to compete with them and be better than Taco Bell. So maybe we could do that. And we could do it either Monday or Tuesday. It really depends on when we hit this goal. Just do it as a one-off episode. And I know this is not planned or whatever, but it's better than to say we hit 100 and we don't know what we're doing and then we don't do anything. I'd rather do something rather than nothing and then plan something bigger for later that people will like than rush and do half-assed crap that no one wants. I don't want to do a second marathon this week. I just don't think it's going to work, Like my idea for a second marathon would be like to continue the Mega Man event. I don't think people are going to show up for that, Okay. So let's keep talking about it, but that's my idea is that we can do a DSP Tries It either like Monday or Tuesday. And that way, at least we have an immediate reward for hitting the 100, but then we can plan a bigger event for later on down the line, maybe in a couple weeks. That would make more sense. Okay. All right. Because the thing is, we've been talking about this 100 goals event for 3 days and no one's come up with any ideas. Everyone just keeps talking about the birthday marathon. I'm like, well, I know. That's the thing. The birthday is the big event. I do it every year. You know what I mean? So that's why it doesn't really make sense to try to have two things at once. So anyway, do a garage cleaning stream like the closet one. My garage is already clean. I already cleaned out my garage. It's done. There's nothing in there to clean. It's completely cleaned out. Done 100%. I told you, I had a company come and haul away everything about a month and a half, 2 months ago. So my garage is 100% clean. That would be a pretty boring stream. Trust me. Okay. All right. So I got all that housekeeping stuff out of the way. Today should be a great day of gameplay between Suikoden Endgame and, of course, the return of Friday Night Fights later tonight with Street Fighter 6. I'm excited about that. And, of course, the birthday marathon on Sunday. And then we get back to normalcy on Monday. I think Monday we're doing Atom Fall and more Disco Elysium. All right. So we get back to the regular rotation of things on Monday. Keep in mind, Tuesday, South of Midnight comes out. And I'm going to be playing South of Midnight on Game Pass on Tuesday. And before anyone says, oh, but what are you talking about? South of Midnight is already out. No, it's not. It's only out if you buy it for an extra price. Like, who would do that? It's literally out on Game Pass on Tuesday. Why would you spend extra money to play that game a few days early? You'd have to be a pretty desperate content creator. I don't know why else you would do it. The game looks interesting. I'm excited for it to give it a shot, but I wouldn't pay extra to play that shit early. It's already on Game Pass. Why are you going to drop more money? So we're playing it Tuesday. Okay. All right. Trying to think. Is there any other housekeeping stuff that I want to cover before we get to shout outs and before we get to this big Nintendo tariffs news? Hooey. What's up, Toasty Chestnuts? How you doing? I think that's it. I think I heard everything. By the way, if you're wondering what's the light setup today, this is Pac-Man. So it's basically this, but in RGB form. What it is, it's Pac-Man running back and forth across my background with a red ghost chasing him. Now, obviously, RGB strip lights can't exactly replicate that perfectly, but that's what it's supposed to be. And actually, it's funny because it's going throughout my whole office here. It's going wall to wall, Pac-Man running back and forth being chased by this red ghost. And then after a while, the ghost catches up with him and he explodes. That's what you're seeing in the light show behind me today. Okay. All right. So let's get to shout outs. Let's do some shout outs, guys. Let's get some support going on the show today. Like I said, the Suikoden streak is a real thing. Every single time that I have played Suikoden, we have hit the goal. which is wild. I'm shocked that this has happened. Let's keep that going and support retro games so that I can play more of them and we could do Suikoden 2 later in the year. Okay? All right. Shout outs time. Here we go. So we start off today with a $5 tip. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everyone has a great weekend. God bless and positive vibes from Flatman B. Thank you to Flatman for getting us started here tonight, or this morning, I should say, with a $5 tip. Thank you, Flatman. Let's get that up on the leaderboard. Looks like the, I was going to say, it looks like the pop-ups, I shrunk them for smart guys. I will now increase the size so they look bigger. There we go. That should be correct now. Cool. Alrighty. I also have the wrong leaderboard up. Oops, let me get this out of the way and put up the correct leaderboard so I can actually do shout-outs today. There we are. That's the correct leaderboard. I received a $2 tip. Someone did a $2 tip saying, here's some support for Suikoden. I see you mentioning your goal would be to raise more than you did. No, this is wrong. He says, I see you mention that your goal would be to raise $3,000 in a single day to beat Kino Casino. That's not beating Kino Casino. What I want to do is I want to show that I can still be as successful without them as I was with the one collab that we did that was successful. Because quite frankly, that's all it was. It was one collab that was a big successful thing. Everything outside of that, after that, didn't work. Their ideas were not good. They just were kind of, I would say the Chain Together gaming collab was fun, but it didn't resonate because their audience isn't a bunch of gamers. Their audience is a bunch of drama queens because that's what they want. That's the content they make. Drama queen shit, gossip, bullying nonsense for idiots. So because of that, the audience didn't like gaming. You know what I mean? And outside of that, everything else we tried to do didn't work. Their ideas sucked. And they couldn't get the clout to get the good ideas going. If we had done a show with It's a Gundam, if we had done a show with Mutahar, if we had done a show with any of the candidates who we had talked about, it would have been great. They literally could get none of them. Zero. So the point I'm making here is I feel like I can be successful and do stuff that works without having to be toxic, drama queen, bullying nonsense. That's kind of my goal for this year. I hope that I can do something this year that would hit that level. Now, I don't know what it would be. You would think it would be a special event like a marathon or something would be when that would happen, right? But I don't know. But no, it's not. I'm not trying to beat them. To be quite honest with you, I'm not in competition with them. I never was. I'm nothing like them. I'm not trying to beat them in views or revenue or anything like that. That's not the point. The point is I just want to show that I am a successful guy despite the fact that I don't have to bully others and bring others down to get over. You see? Okay, so thank you for the $2 tip. Yes, It's a Gundam was there last week on their show, proving the point that they had already made about him. This is how dumb my actual critics or detractors are. It's a Gundam is so fucking retarded. Literally in the DMs that I released, it showed PPP saying, It's a Gundam's a pussy. It's a Gundam will not actually ever do a real conversation with you because he's a coward. He only wants to do content where it's easy pickings, everyone piling on one person, no conflict against him, no chance that he has to actually say anything intelligent or defend himself. He likes shooting ducks in a barrel, as they say, right? That's what it is. That's what he wants. There's fish in a barrel, right? It's ducks in a row, fish in a barrel. He only does easy mode shit. That's the point. That's why he only does content on his own channel. He rarely does a live streaming appearance. And when he does, it's always the same shtick of everyone pile on. So he refuses to do the show with me when I'm going to be with Kino Casino because he's totally afraid oh my God, he's going to lose. He's going to look like a loser. Look at the DMs. PPP was totally planning on piling on him and making him crumble, making him the loser in the situation. That was the plan. Okay, he even told me how to do it because I didn't know anything personal about this guy. They did. And they told me all this personal shit in those DMs. This is what you can use against him. This is what we're going to do. He backs out, won't do it, runs away with his tail between his legs, despite the fact that he was bothering them endlessly about not doing content with me or him being a part of the content with me. When we finally say, yeah, let's do it, he drops out and runs away. Okay? So now, guess what? I'm done with Kino Casino. I dumped them. So now they start doing their, let's crap on DSP arc. Very predictable, very, very lame because it's what every other person has already done. Yet they got to follow suit because that's where the money is, because all they care about is money. They don't care about the quality of their content. They don't care about how much they make for their viewers. They don't give a fuck about their viewers at all. All they care about is milking their viewers for money. So they do exactly the same shit as everybody else. And then they say, now let's get It's a Gundam on the show. Well, yeah, because as you already said, the guy's a fucking coward. He'll only show up when it's everyone piling on someone and it makes him look good. So by literally having him on their show, they proved the entire point that we were saying all along. The guy's a pussy, a coward, an awful content creator, and a piece of shit. Pretty easy to figure out, and the results are there. It's not rocket science, but again, these people who watch this kind of content are that dumb. They're so fucking stupid, they don't even understand that they're all being conditioned to watch garbage and throw money at it. They're just that stupid. I mean, you can't stop stupidity, I guess. Okay. Let's continue, shall we? Let's not delve into the realm of drama too much. So we have Princess Luna with a $10 super chat this morning. Momentum for the Suikoden streak. It's Suikoden. Suikoden. It's supposed to be like four syllables. Suikoden. Okay. Thank you, Princess Luna. And we have Remy the Prince, £2 super chat. Chill stream with... he's insulting Ethan Ralph. Well, people are still doing it. It's crazy. Ethan Ralph has been over a week removed since he's been on Smart Guys, and people are still insulting the guy. Jeez, people really do not like that guy. Anyway, thank you guys for the early support. Let's keep it rolling. So right now we got some super chats and tips. Let's get our first sub over on Kick, and let's get some memberships here on YouTube. All right, let's get that momentum rolling. Let's hit that streak again, or that goal again, to keep that streak alive for Suikoden. Okay, cool. Now, before we get into the big Nintendo news again, every day I feel like there's Nintendo news. It's insane at this point. Let's talk a little bit about last night's Smart Guys episode. So first off, if you have not seen it yet, Smart Guys is live and archived over on the DSP Reacts channel. Oh, excuse me. Hooey. And it went pretty well, although yet again, it went long. I swear, every episode of this show, I'm trying to get it to be around 2 to 2.5 hours long. I feel like that's the sweet spot for this show. I don't want it to roll on too long. And every week, it goes longer. Like every single week, it ends up going longer. I'm like, damn. I just can't get it down to that spot of time that I want it to be. Anyway, so who was the guest host? Was it Mersh? Was it Cog? Was it anyone who people predicted? No. The guest host was someone who has been a part of the YouTube wrestling community and has done wrestling commentary before, Cypress TV, who also just happens to be one of my moderators in my stream chats, okay? And the way that I'm doing these hosts, if you can't figure it out yet, all right, is that I don't want it to be the same kind of thing every week. The first week, it was Ethan Ralph because we all knew that Ethan Ralph was going to be dramatic and everyone was going to tune in to see, will he be able to do the show? Will the show be entertaining? Is this guy going to like freaking pass out during the show, or is he going to say something he's not supposed to say? That was the point of having Ethan Ralph on the show. Quite frankly, I think Ethan Ralph was a good host. He actually had a lot to say about wrestling, okay? Although there were things that definitely can be improved. Last night, Cypress TV was a much more less dramatic, level-headed kind of guest host. He knows a lot about current wrestling. He actually had some very interesting takes on some plot lines that I had never even thought about. And I was like, oh, that's insightful. That's interesting. Maybe that's a good take. Maybe that's what's going to happen at WrestleMania. I don't want to spoil what Cypress said because some of these were very interesting takes, all right? So I strongly recommend you give the show a watch, if you haven't seen it yet. And honestly, I feel like Cypress is well-spoken in a way where, like, he sounds like an internet radio host. He does. Like, his mannerisms, the way he talks and sounds on the mic, he sounds like an internet radio host. So it actually worked really well for the show, in my opinion. I even said this last night. I said, I think, like, last night's Smart Guys was the best wrestling commentary show. It wasn't the best for drama. We did a little bit of drama at the beginning, but not a lot. It wasn't the best for entertainment value, but if you're looking for actual quality wrestling commentary, which is the premise of the show, that was probably the best one that I've put out since the show rebooted back in January, okay? So we are now, 12 episodes in? And I feel like the wrestling commentary is finally hitting a very good level, all right? Now, also, we got us enough support to open a pack of Topps cards, which we did, and there was only 3 packs left, and we didn't get the chase. So that means in the last 2 packs that are left there's a chase card, one of the rare ones that looks great, and we still haven't gotten it. In the meantime, the next box of cards has arrived, okay? It was supposed to be here yesterday, but it didn't show up. But now I have it. So now for next week's show and for the big WrestleMania special that I'm going to do, I'm going to call it a WrestleMania Super Show. I will have 9 more packs of cards to open, all right? And then, to be honest, that's it. I'm not going to be buying any more of these Topps cards. They've gotten too expensive. That box of cards that showed up cost me over $70. So each pack of those cards was over $10 for 4 cards each. It's like, what is going on? Why is it so expensive? This whole collecting thing is just completely out of control. I just don't get why collecting has been so overblown. This is very representative of the 1990s, because in the 1990s, it was almost exactly the same with comic books and cards and collectibles. Everyone wanted them, and they were all overblown and overpriced. Like, no lie, a new action figure would be released in stores, and 40-year-olds would run to the store and buy out the whole inventory, so the kids would go to buy the figures. There's no action figures. Then you would go to, like, the comic book store, because they actually existed in the 90s, and be like, oh, here's all the new action figures. They're being sold for $30 each. They're kids' toys. What the fuck's your problem? Why did you run to the store and buy the children's toys, and now the children don't have toys? Because you bought them, and you know what I mean? So it's kind of similar today. It just seems like all these collectibles are so overblown and out of control. They're overvalued. And these cards, these Topps cards, are becoming way harder to get. So, yeah, that's going to be my last box. So this is the finale of me opening Topps cards on Smart Guys coming up in the next couple of shows, okay? So, FYI, what's the future for Smart Guys, all right? We are doing another show next week on Thursday night, the third and final guest co-host. Again, a complete mystery. Absolutely nobody knows who this co-host is. All I'm going to tell you is this. Ethan Ralph was a super dramatic guest host. Cypress TV was not. All right? For week 3, let me just put it this way, because again, I really don't want to spoil. I think this is going to be a surprise that people are going to enjoy. For week 3, this is going to be a great one. Let's just put it that way. All right. This is going to be very interesting. I don't know how it's going to go, but I think however it goes, it's going to be entertaining. Let's put it that way, shall we? It's going to be a very entertaining final guest host for everyone. All right. I can't wait because I know people are going to be excited now to see who is the guest host. It's going to be a pretty big thing, but I won't spoil. All right. There we go. All right. Anyway. Yes, it's The Rock. Correct. No, it's not The Rock. Stop that right now. Stop trying to spoil. So I'm going to do one more Smart Guys next week. Now, technically, there could be another Smart Guys before WrestleMania because WrestleMania is over the weekend. I believe it's the 19th and the 20th, so Saturday and Sunday of April. But here's the thing. I would rather have a bye week and not do Smart Guys that Thursday before WrestleMania. And you might say, well, why? That's the week before WrestleMania. Well, a couple of things, okay? Number one, the week before WrestleMania, even though the shows can get hype, you already know all the matches. You already know everything that's going on. There's not going to be any last-minute changes or shocking twists those shows right before WrestleMania, all right? Just to be honest, there's not going to be. You're going to know everything the week before, okay? So there's really not going to be much to cover that week before. I feel like it would be more like a filler show to begin with. But number two, I am planning on doing a post-WrestleMania super show, meaning after WrestleMania happens, I want that next day, so Monday the 21st, I want my first stream to be my WrestleMania coverage super show. And I'm going to talk with these guys and see if maybe they want to appear or not. If they want to appear, that'd be great. The thing is, I don't want to have a 4-hour, 5-hour show with 4 hosts and we're all talking. It'll never end. It'll just, you know what I mean? What I'm thinking is open the show with my initial thoughts about everything that happened, like my best, my worst match, then bring on a guest. Like maybe have Ethan Ralph on. He comes on for a half an hour and we talk about what he thought about WrestleMania and we go back and forth. Then I bring on maybe Cypress. Then I bring on the third host. And so they have segments with each one, right? As opposed to if it was just all 4 of us talking, I feel like that would be too chaotic and we wouldn't finish. You know what I mean? Like it would just go too long. So that's what I'm thinking. A post-WrestleMania super show of Smart Guys. And by honestly, that could be like the end of season 1 of Smart Guys, where it started in January, it ran through WrestleMania season, and then depending on how that goes, I can judge if I want to continue the show or not. Because remember, this whole thing has been an experiment. I didn't know how Smart Guys was going to go, if it was going to work. Personally, I've really enjoyed doing the show. But if you take a look at it week to week, it's like this. Sometimes it's great attendance. Sometimes there's not so good. Sometimes there's great support. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes it meets in the middle. As long as it's in the middle, I'm happy, right? So I'm curious with these next week's show and then the WrestleMania Super Show, how will it do? Will it do well? Should I continue to do the show weekly? Should I maybe do it less often? Maybe do it once a month, once every 2 weeks? Should I have rotating guest hosts? Should I have one guest, one permanent host? I don't even know. Or I just don't know what to do. So we'll figure this out over the course of April, all right, and go from there. Very well, it may be if WrestleMania is super exciting, right? And we're all left with a very awesome feeling of wrestling after WrestleMania being so good, then we want to continue. But what if WrestleMania sucks? Then maybe I want to give it a rest, right? So let's see. Let's see how the month goes. Fair enough? Okay. Excuse me. Big Boss says, viewers alone, how could you top the 10K Ethan brought in? Ethan Ralph did not bring in 10,000 viewers. If you didn't notice, all right, it was mostly view bots. After the dust settled and all the view bots were cleared off, Ethan Ralph's appearance was the second biggest of Smart Guys history. Episode 1 that I did in January actually is the most views of any episode of Smart Guys as of now. Ethan Ralph did bring in a lot of hype, but it was number 2. Those bots way overinflated the views on the show, and then YouTube slowly deleted those views away because they weren't real, and now the show is like 6,500. Yeah, 6,500 viewers for the Ethan Ralph episode. Episode 1 brought in over 7,000 viewers back in January. Okay, so yeah, the view botting was insanely out of control. Stupid idiots thinking that they were going to get me in trouble because Ethan would say something bad, and then, because of the view bot inflation, YouTube would catch on or whatever. But it never happened. People are just dumb as hell. They waste their time and money. They're so stupid. Okay. All right, a few more shout outs. We've got Hello Voltage with a $2 super chat. Fish Sticks, DSP tries it. Messy hair, DSP dyes it. Great. I have no idea what that's a reference to, but thank you. I have not tried fish sticks, and I do not dye my hair, for the record. If I dyed my hair, it would look a lot better, right? It's so weird that people say stuff like that. You dye your hair. Don't you think that if I dyed my hair and stuff, like, I would do enough to it that it would look good? Like, I know my hair doesn't look good, right? Like, if I actually did work to my hair, I would try to get my hair to grow back here because I'm losing hair right here. I would try to get my hair to grow back here because I'm losing hair in the back of my head right here. I try to make my hair even because it's not. You know what I mean? Like, I would actually do, like, significant work to my hair if I was trying. I've done nothing. I've done no work at all to my hair. It just so happens my beard is almost completely white, but my hair has stayed almost completely black for some reason. And that'll change over time. I do have more grays that are coming in on the side. So eventually I'm going to have gray and then white hair. It's just going to happen as I get older, you know? Okay. Yeah, I don't even know what I would do. There's so many options, right? There's like, what is that stuff? What's the shit that you do? Is it Bosley Institute for Hair Growth or whatever? And then there's Hair Club for Men. There's a Rogaine. There's a million things that people use to grow hair back, right? I don't even know if I would bother, okay? Beaver Bother did not tip me. Stop listening to Beaver Bother. He is a liar, okay? I received a $3 tip. No, I don't know. I don't know why you're telling me this. Someone tipped me $3, says, did you hear about a tragic fire that has happened at a cat sanctuary in Long Island? Sadly, 100 cats were lost in a fire, and the owner was rescued but passed away because they tried to save all the cats. No, I didn't hear about this, but I don't know why I would have heard about it either. I also don't know why you're telling me about this. I mean, that's very sad, but I don't know what that has to do with the show. But thanks for the $3 tip. Okay. Okay. It's very sad, obviously, but I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to say about it. Certainly not a topic that I'm like informed on or would know anything about, right? So, Go Eater says, this is not a troll. It's a genuine criticism. Can you stop assuming that because a game doesn't bring in your goal that no one's interested? No one said that. Go Eater, again, people misunderstand because you listen to the wrong people. You have to listen to me instead of my detractors. You have to stop listening to their highlights and clips that are out of context. I am a gamer. My lifelong passion has been video games. That's why I like doing gaming content. I love being a variety streamer, and I like playing games from all kinds of genres, whether it's a fighting game, an FPS, an action game, an RPG, whatever. I love them all, right? There's a few games I don't like, for example, driving games usually I don't like, stuff like that. But in general, I like being a variety content creator, all right? However, I'm not some giant guy who brings in thousands of views every single stream. I'm not someone whose videos go viral. I'm not someone who gets sponsorships and partnerships or anything like that. I am very much an anomaly. I'm very different from the other content creators out there. I make my entire living off of crowdfunding. People coming to my streams and supporting this content. Do you understand? Because of that, my model for success has to be that I do content and broadcast streams that will be funded. All right? It doesn't mean that a game is bad or good if someone supports it or doesn't, but I have to put out content that will make money so that I can operate a business and pay my bills and make a living. Do you get it? When you see other YouTubers and the first time that their video starts, it's like, and by the way, this is sponsored by so-and-so, the website builder, or this food subscription service. I can't do that. All right? I can't. I'm not given those opportunities. And if I were, they'd be ruined by my detractors anyway. I can't do that kind of content. Do you get it? So because of that, I have to do content that's going to bring people to the streams and will be supported. Just because a stream is not supported isn't representative of if the game is good. I'll give you a perfect example of this. Monster Hunter Wilds. I played the beta. I actually really liked it. It ran beautifully on my PC, and I only made like $70. So does that mean Monster Hunter Wilds is a bad game? No, not at all. And does it mean that my audience doesn't like Monster Hunter Wilds? No, not at all. What it means is that for my style of streaming, whether it's my gameplay style, my personality, whatever it is, people aren't enjoying that enough to say, we want this to continue, let's support it. Get it? That's all it means. Now, that's the thing. There's going to be times when there's things that I want to do and I can't. Metaphor, for example. That was a game back in the fall. I played 12 plus hours of the demo of it. I loved it. I thought it was better than Persona 5. I was stoked and ready to play it, but I couldn't get people to show up to the streams. I couldn't get people to engage with me during the streams. They were actually ignoring what was going on in the game, and I couldn't get people to support the streams. As a person who makes a living streaming, this is not my hobby. This is not me messing around for fun. This is my job. I have to find product that I can put out that people will watch and then support. It's that simple. Right? And that's it. This is not shit talking games. This is not shit talking an audience. That's just life. And it works for me. It may not work for other people. Other people may find ways around it, like doing drama content that bullies people and hurts others, but then they get ahead because of it. Other people may become complete sellout shills, where all they do is take in endless amounts of sponsorships, partnerships, and kiss butt 90% of the time. And then when people call them out on it, they get all pissy about it, because I've done that before, and those content creators got really pissy with me for exposing them for what they really are. But in my case, I am an anomaly. I'm very different from most other content creators that you watch. And you've got to accept that if you're going to watch and enjoy my content. If you don't, that's fine. You don't have to enjoy or watch my content either. And I get it. You know, it's all good. There's enough content out there for everyone that you can watch whoever you like and enjoy whoever you like. Personally, I like my content. I like who I am. I like the fact that I can be here every day and not hurt others to get ahead and still make a living doing it. I'm eternally grateful for all of you for allowing me to do that. You know, I'm playing Suikoden and making a living doing it. It's pretty crazy to think about, right? Thank you so much. And that's that. But no, just because a game didn't bring in $150 on a particular stream, it doesn't mean the game's bad. It doesn't mean that gamers don't like that game. It just means that with my audience, it doesn't work. And that's okay. Not everything will always work with a certain audience. Get it? Ryu says, do you think you would ever do a playthrough for yourself, irrespective of your audience's reception? In some ways, like how you did Earthbound back in the day because you loved the game. Yes, from time to time, that's perfectly viable, right? Here's the thing, all right? What's happened is, since last summer, I have been seen by more people in a positive light than for a very long time. And even though the efforts now of the guys at Kino Casino is to dump on Phil and make content out of Phil that will make them money, what they don't understand is that it's too late. I've already been seen in a positive light. There's already more people watching my content and being like, oh, so yeah, actually what Phil does isn't that bad. In fact, it's quite good. He's just different than others, and that's fine. There's a reason why he has to be different from others because of the situation he's in. He's never done anything heinous. There's no reason to hate the guy. And I like him now, and I'm going to give him a shot. Overall, opinion has gotten much more positive toward me. If that weren't the case, you wouldn't have people who want to be on Smart Guys. People would be running for the hills and want nothing to do with me, right? So that's it. It doesn't matter how, how you like to flip on stuff or change stuff. It doesn't matter. It's already, it's already happened. And now I'm doing much better. Right? I'm doing much better. Overall, streams are going better. Revenue is up. Everything's good. All right. So in that regard, I want to do content that's going to resonate with my audience, that again, I'm going to get views, engagement, and support. Yes, I very well right now could be like, hey, let's play a game that no one cares about, right? And we could do that. But to be frank, I don't think that's really working right now. What I need to do right now is find the games that are going to work, to cover topics that people want to hear, play things that people will show up and engage and support, right? That's what I need to focus on right now, because I'm at a situation now where if I can keep levels at where it is, right? If I can stay at the levels that I was at, things are going to get much better for me and my family and this business. Take a look at the changes that I made in the last 6 months. Multiple camera angles. So now I can actually do new kinds of content in great quality that I was never able to do before. I've got Pac-Man running back and forth across my keyboard right now. I couldn't do that before. I can do unpacking, unboxings, DSP tries it, all kinds of fun stuff with new stuff. My face cam dramatically improved, right? My face cam now is actually professional grade, where previously it never was, right? Now my face, oh, what did I just do? I just screwed up. Oh, shit. I clicked the wrong thing. There we go. My face cam now, if I can get this to load. Okay. Looking much better than ever before, right? So now when I do new playthroughs, you can see my expressions clearly. And now when I do thumbnails and stuff, it looks absolutely amazing. Like top-notch shit, right? My setup looking better than ever before, looking professional, because I have the ability to do all this new stuff that I couldn't do. My gameplay quality, my stream quality, it's all been dramatically improved. So now the sky's the limit. In addition to that, because I'm making what I'm making, we can literally jump from game to game with no limitations. The problem used to always be, because Phil is limited in what he can play, he has to buy games and always play them to completion, even if we don't like them and he doesn't like them. And now a new game just came out that's virally popular and Phil cannot play it because he can't afford it. Same thing. Well, we had an idea, Phil. You should start building Legos, or you should do this or that. Well, I can't do it. I don't have money. But now I do. Now I have the flexibility to do all of those things that people always wanted me to do. Why? Because I'm making smart business decisions. Because I'm not saying, oh, we're going to force ourselves to play a game that no one cares about and no one's watching and no one's supporting. But instead, I'm playing a game, and if it works, we stick with it. If it doesn't work, we dump it, right? Which is, by the way, what a ton of other content creators have always done. This is not a new philosophy that all of a sudden only Phil has adopted. This is something that a lot of successful content creators have always done. Let's try a game out on stream today. If we all enjoy it, great. But if we don't, move on to another game that you guys like. But for me, it's like, oh, well, Phil's the devil, because how dare he rage quit a game or wage quit a game? Literally, it's a common industry practice. All of my peers do this, but it's never good for Phil to do something. It's always the wrong thing to do, right? No, this has been working for a very long time. It's going to continue to work. I need to stick to my guns on this. Maybe every once in a while, if things are going so well, right, that every other stream is doing well, then I could say, all right, I'm absolutely aware that we're not going to make a lot on this or do well with this. All right. And if that's the case, that's fine. But right now, I want to stay the course of what we're doing because it's working. Let's play the games people want. Let's skip the games that aren't working, right? I played Assassin's Creed Shadows for 9 hours. It got boring as dirt. The entire stream was disengaged. No one gave a shit about the game. Dump that turd. Flush it. There's no reason to keep playing these games that don't hold interest. Why? I'm trying to entertain an audience. If no one is entertained to the point where they won't talk about the game, they won't show up for the stream, and they won't support it, why am I streaming it? This is my job, right? Why would I even do that? Why would I go to work and do things that don't benefit the job? That's my take anyway. All right. So there you go. It's this is the key to success at this point. Things might change in the future. For now, this is working. Let's stick with what's working to keep the success going so I can continue to have these improvements, this flexibility, and better times for myself and my family. I think it makes sense, doesn't it? I hope that makes sense, okay? Okay. All right. Did I shout out everything? I think I did now, right? I think we got through all the shout outs. Okay. So, folks, we have one news story for today. All right, we do. And it ain't a good one. All right, here is what's going on right now amidst all this Nintendo Switch 2 launch madness that's been happening all week long. We've been talking about the release date, the cost, the accessories, and everyone's been talking about how it's so expensive. Nintendo doesn't seem to be the cost-conscious purchase anymore. It doesn't seem to be the value for a family anymore. Literally, it looks like the Switch 2 is the premium system. $450 for the console. Memory cards for expansion. Ridiculously expensive because you need this express version of the card. All the accessories are expensive. The games are priced at insanely premium prices. $70, $80 plus dollars, right? So all of this discussion going on. And then, ladies and gentlemen, this morning, we get this news. You ready for this? Nintendo delays Switch 2 pre-orders in the United States. And this all came from this announcement from GameStop this morning. Pre-orders for Nintendo Switch 2 in the US will not start on April 9th, 2025. In order to assess the potential impact of tariffs and evolving market conditions, Nintendo will update timing at a later date. The launch date of June 5th is unchanged. GameStop will continue to work closely with Nintendo and provide updates as soon as more information becomes available. Stay tuned for further details. And so then literally every news outlet picked up on that story and regurgitated it and re-reported it. See? So you might say, well, wait, what are we talking about here? What tariffs? Okay. Well, if you didn't know, President Donald Trump has essentially clapped back at the world. What does that mean? The world has always instituted hefty tariffs against United States products. For example, Vietnam has something like a 90% markup on American goods. If anyone who lives in Vietnam wants to buy something from the United States, they have to pay a 90% tariff in order to get that item imported, okay? Some countries have always had these issues. For example, Brazil. In Brazil, the cost of everything has always been sky high. And people say, why? It's because of issues like this, these ongoing tariffs, where everything that they try to import in Brazil is just way expensive. And you might say, well, what's the purpose of tariffs? What purpose do they serve? The idea behind a tariff is if you make a foreign product, a product that's manufactured outside of your home country, more expensive to buy than a product that's manufactured in your country, then your populace is more apt to just buy domestic products, i.e. products manufactured in your home country. This means that now the companies in your country will do better. This will result in better sales, better job creation for your country. And you're trying to basically improve your country's position with these tariffs, right? One of the major problems we have in the United States is, no exaggeration, the vast majority of products that we as Americans purchase are foreign products. I couldn't tell you, out of all the products that are literally sitting in front of me right now, my keyboard, my mouse, this mouse pad, okay? This Stream Deck, this other mouse pad rest here, my laptop, this freaking Portal 2 coaster that I have sitting right here, the webcam, this boom arm, the mic itself, all the crap you see behind me right now. I guarantee you, there is not a single product sitting in front of me that was manufactured in the United States. Every single product was manufactured outside of the US. And the problem with that is that our country has fallen into this gap, this problem. We don't manufacture anything anymore that anyone wants. So all the businesses left. All these companies have outsourced all their labor elsewhere. So when you look at the US economy and you say, why are there no good jobs here? Why is every job fast food, being a waiter or a waitress or a bartender, working in a retail store? This is why. Because we don't make anything. Everything is cheaper when purchased outside of the US. All right? So that's why we're in the situation we're in. So what Trump is trying to do is saying, listen, every other country out there already has big tariffs against our products. You have to pay double, triple for our products if you buy them in another country. All I'm going to do is make this an even playing field because they've gotten this one up on us forever. So now I'm going to put tariffs back on their products. If we're going to import from China, boom, 30% tariff. If we're going to import from Vietnam, boom, 40% tariff. Let's just keep laying these fuckers out, right? Across the board, like they've been doing to us. Now we'll make the market fair. And now we'll see over time how this will affect things. Will this actually benefit the United States, where maybe we'll actually start to get products from the US again because they'll actually end up being cheaper than the ones we're importing? Or vice versa, maybe some of these countries will realize, oh shit, everything we're buying now is so much more expensive because a tariff has been imposed. So let's actually be more reasonable to the United States and let's relax the tariffs that we've been putting on these products. All right? So what Trump is attempting to do is play hardball. He's hoping that if for immediate short-term issues of like raised prices, that long-term, the world's going to realize you can't fuck with the US anymore because we're not going to be a pussy anymore. We're going to actually stand up to you guys trying to bully us. So maybe this will work. Maybe it won't. There's no way to really tell. To be honest, I'm not really following politics too heavily. In this case, I just kind of know what's going on because, you know, you see how it's going to affect it. What's going to happen? Could our food costs go up? Yes. Could the other costs go up? Yes. All right. We don't know what's going to happen. All of our prices might shoot up dramatically now for everything we buy here in the country for like a year. Or it might not. It could only be a short-term thing. And then the countries will relent and be like, all right, you know what? Trump's playing hardball. We're going to relent. We're going to lower all our tariffs now. And then maybe Trump will be like, all right, well, because you did that, now I'll concede and I'll relax our tariffs. So what will happen? We really don't know. All right? We just don't know. It's a new thing. This really hasn't been attempted in a long time. Okay? But since Trump is now enacting all of these tariffs, that means that all of these products that we're getting out of the United States are going to cost more. The Nintendo Switch 2, 100% will be more costly because of these tariffs. So what Nintendo is saying is, if Trump is serious and he's instituting these tariffs right now, we can't, in good, knowledge, faith, conscience, do pre-orders. If we do a pre-order now for $450, right? But by the time that this thing's going to go on sale, the price has skyrocketed for us by another $100 a unit. We can't do that. We're shooting ourselves in the foot. So what they're going to do is they're going to wait. He's going to wait, maybe wait a month, right? Maybe in May, the pre-orders will go live in the United States. And let's see, did the tariffs actually go into, effect? How much did they affect prices? And maybe they're going to scale. Maybe it's not $450 anymore. Maybe now the price is $550. Okay? Now, the funny part is we've already been saying the Switch 2 is going to be too expensive. Not the base console price, but the fact that the games are going to be $80, $90 each, whatever it's going to be. That the accessories, all right, are going to be so ridiculously expensive, right? That's the problem. And now on top of that, you're going to inflate the cost of the console's pre-orders, And you may even be inflating the cost of all the accessories. Like right now, they claim the Pro controller is $79.99. There's nothing to stop them from saying, well, because of the tariffs, now it's $99.99. However, what Nintendo doesn't realize here is very simple. This is not going to be supported by the common gamer anymore. Because if you're making the switch to a premium product, people expect premium results. Did anything we saw from these directs this week say premium? To me, what I saw was try to catch up with everyone else, not excel past everyone else. This is not, oh, our graphics are better. We have more features. We're just getting the same features as everybody else now, right? So the common gamer might be like, do you really think I'm going to drop $550 to $600 for the console, $100 for a controller, $200 for a memory card, $300 to buy 3 games? Do you think I have $1,500 to spend on Switch 2? The common person does not. Now, gamers and techie guys, content creators like me, yeah, we have the money to drop on it. We absolutely do. But the common person does not. All right? So this could actually significantly hurt Nintendo in a way that they never anticipated. Kind of like how back during COVID, the lack of processors completely destroyed the PlayStation 5 launch for several years. So I'm very curious of what might actually happen here. This is unprecedented. We haven't had anything like this happen in history yet. So what will happen? Will the market bear this? Will prices skyrocket? Will the tariffs hurt Nintendo? This all could be very, very realistic. And I've never seen a console say, oh, it's going to be on pre-order. And then within 2 days, oh, no pre-orders. We're delaying it. We'll see what happens. It's just never happened before. So let's see what happens and go from there. But there's not much to say until we see what happens with this market and with these tariffs and you know, what Nintendo decides to do. Nintendo suspending the pre-orders in the US definitely means they're probably going to raise prices. And it ain't going to be $450 anymore, which is kind of dumb because here's why. Everyone says this. First impressions are everything. You have one chance to make a first impression, and that's what sticks in everyone's mind. I'll give you a perfect example. When the Xbox One was originally announced way back when, and what was it, like 2012, 2013? And Don Matrick said, no digital trading. You can't trade in games anymore. You can't give your game to your friend. You need internet at all times and all of that, right? The entire industry flipped against him and said, we don't want this. This is, you're an asshole. And then they went back on all of that. They literally said, okay, we're going to go back on all that stuff. But the common person didn't know. The common person only saw the original announcement for Xbox One and still thought when the console launched, it's digital, digital only. You need online all the time. You can't trade games. They still thought all that, even though Microsoft had very much backpedaled on all of it. Nobody knew. With Nintendo, they've already did their big announcement. They've already given you the initial launch prices and the date and the availability. If they change it, a lot of people might not even realize they're changing it. And then when they actually go to get it, be like, wait, what? That's sticker shock. And this might very well hurt Nintendo in a big way in the United States. Now, outside of the US, Nintendo has said they're not doing anything else like that. So I guess we'll see what happens moving forward. If anything, boy, guys, let me just say, I must be the luckiest motherfucker on earth. I just literally upgraded my entire setup, right? I got a mid to high-end gaming PC, a great capture streaming PC, all this tech, a PS5 Pro. I've got everything that I need right here, so I don't have to spend any money right now. If I did, I might be spending double what I just spent to upgrade everything. So, whew, boy, it's like everything lined up perfect for me to be able to do everything at the right time, because I could have been fucked. Imagine if, like, right now I was going to upgrade my setup and I go to buy everything and everything's double price. Oh, my God. So, wow. A big sigh of relief for me. But for any consumer right now who's in the midst, can you imagine someone who's in the midst of, like, opening a business right now or doing a significant upgrade and all of a sudden all the prices have been insane? I mean, that's just freaking crazy. Crazy. So, I guess, let's see what happens. All right? Whew. All right. Cool. All right. I got a couple shout outs to do. and then we'll just open up the Q&A for the rest of the show. All right? So, we've got a $1.50 tip from Beaver Bother. He says, I got banned for alerting you. No, you got banned because you spammed the chat like 17, 18 times. It was incredibly obnoxious, and you know it. And you bother me. You're very annoying. That's why I banned you from Kick. I don't want to see you in there anymore because you're just fucking annoying. And I can't concentrate when you're constantly spamming the chat, tagging me. Hey, Phil. It's like a 5-year-old who grabs your leg and she's pulling your pants. Hey. You can keep your $1 every day that you give me to stop annoying me. Okay? Thanks. And I received another $1 tip. So let's see here. Vietnam's average tax on U.S. products is less than 10%, not 90%. I didn't say it. I was giving a hypothetical. All right? I want you to understand something. No, I'm not giving you actual percentages that are real. I didn't sit here and get data this morning. All right? That was just me saying, hey, if it was this, well, then it's this. That's all I'm saying. Don't take anything that I said. Oh, that's factual. Phil said 30%, 40%, 90%. There's no real numbers there. That was just me giving examples, okay? Please don't take that the wrong way. This is not DS politics. I didn't research anything, okay? Now, he says, this isn't Trump clapping back. He's put tariffs on islands that don't have people. Well, I don't know about that. Okay. Practically everything is about to be too expensive, not just to Switch 2. That's why markets are now in free fall. We're likely going to be in a recession this year, and the Fed chair said today inflation is likely to rise significantly. Great. Well, thanks for the $1 tip. Sounds great. Again, I don't know what's going on. We'll see. Is this not unprecedented? I would say it's unprecedented. I don't think we've seen anything happen like this at all. So this is pretty wild. I guess the question is this, right? Trump obviously thinks he knows what he's doing. He thinks that these tariffs are going to benefit the U.S., okay? He wouldn't purposefully do something that would hurt the country. He's the president. Why would he actually purposefully want to hurt the citizens of the country? But the question is, what is it that he actually thinks is going to happen here? What is the intention? How long will it take for his intended outcome to happen? And who is it in his ear telling him this is a good idea? And do they know what the hell they're talking about? I don't know. The Tractors are sad that a $2 super chat, he says he's gone bankrupt multiple times. Oh, I'm aware of that. You guys act like I'm defending Donald Trump. I'm not. I've told you guys this many times before. I do not like Donald Trump. Yeah, I don't like that man at all. His attitude, the way he operates his businesses. I told you, so I worked at Helicopter Support, which is a helicopter aftermarket support company. Trump had an account with that company. And here's how he operated it. He would call yelling and screaming, saying, we need a part for our helicopter right now because we're grounded. So our company would send him the part. He would say, thanks, and then he would never pay. He would literally not pay. We would send invoice after invoice. He just wouldn't pay for the part. Then all of a sudden, he would call 6 months later, and he'd say, we're grounded again. We need a part. And we'd look at our invoice and be like, no, you owe us a bunch of money from 6 months ago. You never paid us. We're not going to send you another part. You already, excuse me. You already owe us. So Trump would then say, oh, okay, well, I'll pay you what I owe you. So then he would pay what he owed. And then he said, now send me the part. So then we would send him the next part. And then he would do it again. He wouldn't pay. That's how he would operate his business. The only way that he would ever, operate, he would always owe us and never pay until he absolutely needed to. Sometimes it would go a year. He wouldn't pay anything. And then he would pay when he only needed the next thing from us. Do you think that's how you should operate your business? Honestly, if that's just one example of how he operated his helicopters. Can you imagine how he probably operated his entire business empire? Right? So, and he's our president. So, you tell me. I've already told you guys I don't like this guy. Many years ago, I told you I don't like Trump. I think that the decisions he makes are questionable. He's too emotional, right? I mean, and I get it. People like Trump because he's emotional, because he's not just a tool of a party, right? Like we would very much argue that Joe Biden was a tool of the Democratic Party, and not a single word that came out of his mouth was his own. It was always what he was told to say and do. It was always other people who were actually in charge, and he was just the figurehead. With Trump, I don't think anyone's going to accuse him of that because this guy is literally saying and doing things every moment that no one expects. I think people like that. They like the unexpected. They like drama, right? But I don't know if I like drama as the thing that controls our country, you know? Like, again, I want to know what these tariffs are doing. What is his intention behind them? How are they actually supposed to be helping the American people, right? I don't know. But then again, I'm not following politics right now. So maybe the answers are out there and I just don't know because I haven't followed them. So, again, this is just me generally talking. This is not me saying I'm pro or anti-tariffs. I just don't know about it to have an informed opinion. And I really wish that most people would be like that too. Like, I think it's pretty dumb that so many people act like they know something but they don't know shit. You're just rolling with what you're being told. Right now, there's two sides to this argument. You got your conservative media that's way pro-Trump, saying everything he's doing is correct. And then you've got your panic mode liberal media that's saying everything Trump's doing is bad. He's ruining the country. Everything's going to go to hell in a handbasket. But where's the actual truth to it? It's probably somewhere in the middle, but we just don't know because you don't get that. That doesn't exist. There's no actual informed person out there saying, so here's really what's going on. And it could go this way and it could go this way. No, you just hear the two extremes, right? And that's what I don't like about American politics. I never have. Because how does the American populace make an informed, actual opinion on anything when no one is giving them the truth? Everyone just gives you this side spin and this side spin. It sucks ass. So I received a gifted sub. I apologize. Lance Catamaran gifted a sub back to Darkside Dabbing. So I guess Darkside Dabbing got his sub back. I don't know if that was directed or if it just happened by chance. But thank you, Lance Catamaran. That's our first gifted sub of the day. Very nice. Okay. All right. So, folks, thank you for a great podcast. We still have some extra time. If you'd like to talk with me, please tag me in the chat. But know that I don't want to talk about politics for the next 20 minutes. I don't. I'd rather talk about other topics. So let's see what you guys want to chat about. And let's get some support. As I've said, every single time that we have played Suikoden, we have hit the goal. Let's continue that streak today. We're at $33. Let's get our first membership of the day. Let's get some more subs on Kick. We've just got the one. Let's get some more super chats. We've got 3 so far with Princess Luna as the top one. Let's get someone to beat Princess Luna. And hell, let's get a new top tip because the top tip is $5. So let's get someone to top that as well. All right? Game Boy, how are you? How's it going, man? Am I excited for the Suikoden finale? I don't even remember how the game ends. I don't. I've forgotten how the game ends. So yeah, I am excited for it because I don't remember the conclusion. I just remember really liking the game overall. So I'm thinking I'm gonna like the conclusion, but I don't remember how it all ends. So that will be cool. What other RPGs did I play as a kid? I was a Final Fantasy kid, so Final Fantasy 4 and 6, Final Fantasy Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, then later on Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy 7. And then I was a SNES kid, so Earthbound, Chrono Trigger, Super Mario RPG. Those were my big RPGs growing up. And then PlayStation era, it was Suikoden and Wild Arms were the two big ones that I played then. Excuse me. Super DJC said with Mind's Eye coming out June 10th and Death Stranding coming 2 weeks later, I think June will be a great month. Yeah, hold on a second. I need to actually put release dates on my calendar now because I haven't. So Mind's Eye is June 10th. Let me get that on there. And of course, we know June 5th is the Switch 2. And Mario Kart Worlds, right? Same day. And then what day is Donkey Kong Bonanza? It's July. What date was it? 13th, 16th? Because I want to get that on there too. Not to say that I'm even going to be able to get the Switch 2. I don't know at this point. You know, who knows what's going to happen? It seems like these tariffs might completely screw everything up for the United States. So I don't know. 17th, thank you. July 17th for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Let's get that on there. Cool. I will have to update this schedule soon because I think I'm missing quite a few things on here. We'll have to see. Okay. Noidal says, here's some ideas for 100 goals hit. GSP tries it. Jasper Kitty. That'll never work. Number one, Jasper never sticks around. He will only, like I said, he's his own cat. He doesn't like to just hang out in one spot, even to record him for anything. If I put out a bunch of foods, he'd eat one and then walk away. If I put out a bunch of toys, he'd bat one toy and walk away. It just doesn't work. He's not that kind of cat, okay? Let's see here. One-off DS Politics. I mean, we could do DS Politics again, but no one's really asking for it right now. I don't think people would care about that. A one-time amnesty, unban all chatters. That's insanely stupid. You'd have hundreds of accounts coming back all to spam because they're all bots. So no, I'm definitely not doing that. Tony Hawk 3.4 is July 11th. Okay. I think I have it on there, but I don't think I had the date. And now I think it has that date, right? July 11th. Okay, cool. Got that on there now. Sweet. What's up, King Michael? How are you today? All right. What mobile games do I play? None of your business. Because if I ever tell anyone what games I play ever again, they're just going to try to stalk me and try to find out all personal shit about what I spend. And that's none of anyone's business. So I will never tell you ever again what I do outside of these streams because the detractors have ruined that for everybody. So you can thank them for being no-life stalkerish losers. Would I replay Detroit Become Human again? Probably not. I don't see the point. We already did multiple runs and kind of saw everything that game had to offer. Oh, man. Ugh. Come on, guys. Let's get to 50 bucks of support before the podcast ends. All right, 17 more dollars. And then when we get to Suikoden, we only have to worry about the 100 to hit the goal and continue that streak. Let's get to 50 right now. Who's going to do 4 gifted subs, 6 gifted memberships, or a super chat or a tip to get us to 50? Let's do that right now. Thank you, Cracker Jacks. I hope you have a good day. My first gaming console was Pong. Pong for the TV, meaning it was not for any particular console. It was its own console you plugged into the TV. James says, you'll love the new Black Ops update. They've added lots of new stuff. I'm glad to hear that. What's for dinner tonight? I think we're having pasta. So Italian pasta. As opposed to non-Italian pasta. Emma Frost and Ultron are being added to Marvel Rivals. Okay. I'm not playing it, but okay. Am I gonna have a bunch of decorations for my birthday? No. It's just gonna be the setup. I'm not gonna have balloons or anything. No. To be honest, like I always went to Party City for stuff, and Party City went out of business. They're gone. They don't even exist anymore. So I don't even know where I would go to get party shit. I'd have to guess I just order it generically online and hope it's good. We wouldn't be able to see it in person. But no, I'm not gonna have any decorations or nothing. Do I have a favorite cereal? No, I don't eat cereal regularly. But, I do like Raisin Bran, Wheaties, Frosted Flakes, probably like Chex Mix, not Chex Mix, just Chex cereal, like the Honey Nut Chex and stuff like that. Probably is pretty good. Well, I just don't eat cereal too often. Can I type in chat? Oh, there you go. Oh, man. If you're wondering why I'm yawning, it's because it's getting warm in here. Today, the sun is out in full force in Washington State. And whenever that happens, this office heats up dramatically and becomes very stuffy. So I'm sitting in this office with very stuffy air, and it's making me yawn. I hate it. I don't like it at all. And let's see. So right now it's in the 60s. I'm lucky because tomorrow's supposed to be very warm, but I'm off. So I don't have to be in here. I won't be sweating it out. But today is supposed to be pretty warm too. So I'm going to be sweating today playing Suikoden. No, we're not going to do any WrestleMania sims, but I'm later this year, if the WWE game drops in price, which undoubtedly it always does, right? Maybe we'll do some sims near the end of the year for Halloween or Christmas. Maybe we'll do that this year. We haven't done it in several years. So maybe that'll be pretty fun to do. I'll think about it. We'll see. But no, I'm not promising that. Yeah, I've been thinking about getting an air purifier for this room. It's definitely a strong consideration. This time of year, you get a lot of pollen and stuff in the air, and I have pollen allergies that affect me. And, likely if we keep having 70, 80-degree days, I'm going to have to put the air conditioner in. Right now, it's like a one-off day that it gets cool again. So, for example, tomorrow it's going to be in the 70s here in the United States, and then all of a sudden it's going to go to the 50s again for the next week. So it's like, I don't want to put the air conditioner in yet, but I'm going to have to. I'm thinking by the end of April, I'm going to have to. All right, so guys, we're really not going to get any more support to hit $50 before we start. That's all I ask, to hit $50 right now, and then we can start with Suikoden. That's all I ask. Can we do it? I don't want to disappoint the king, do you? Come on. The pollen's out of control where you live, Spawn Killer. It's just starting here. All the trees are starting to blossom and regrow, and so it is starting to hit the nose. Like, oh boy, I might have to get some medication soon for it. All right. Well, let's end the show. All right. I want to say thank you. It was a good podcast, in my opinion. Last one of the week. Remember, when we come back on Sunday, because I'm not here tomorrow, it will be my birthday bash marathon event. I hope that you'll join me on Sunday if you can make it, even if it's just for a minute or if it's all day long. It's going to be chill fun, lots of great vibes, drinking, food, Minecraft, and more. I cannot wait. So I hope that you guys will come back on Sunday for the annual birthday marathon. But in the meantime, I wish you the best. I hope that you have a great weekend. And I will see you all soon. Thanks, guys, and see you Sunday.